G'day everyone. 20 years ago, when my beard was a lot darker, I went yabbying in this dam behind me here and I caught some really nice bait-sized yabbies. Today I'm revisiting the dam for the first time in about 2 decades to see if those bait yabbies are still in here. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now today I'm not after a feed of yabbies. I don't want big yabbies. The big and medium-sized yabbies will all go back. I just want some small ones for bait. Like I said, I yabbied in this dam 20 odd years ago and I caught yabbies in here, but I haven't been back for a very long time. Now the nets that I'm going to be using are these collapsible bait traps, and I've already got them baited up with dry dog food. It's actually a bit of dog food and cat food in there, but just dry pet food. The reason I've chosen these, usually I like these for the long soaks, the overnight soaks, and I prefer for when I'm actually actively yabbying the open top lift nets. But the problem with them is that the mesh is too big and the bait size yabbies can get through the holes. These are bait traps for a reason, because they've got really small holes in the mesh, meaning that if any little yabbies get in there, they stay there. So I'm going to put them in. I'll probably check them each hour or a bit more, see how we go. Now I haven't even started and I've already done myself a mischief. I've got a bit of blood on the arm there. I'm not sure what I've done, but it there's a lot more overgrown to get into this dam now than it was 20 years ago. Let's just say that. Right, net number 1. I just saw a heron fly over, a water bird. Heron eat yabbies. So the fact that he wanted to come to this dam is a good sign. There's a lot of bird life here. Alright, I'll dip that in there. Net number 2 can just go out there. Current time is 20 past 2. I'd like to tell you that I'll leave it until 20 past 3, but I probably won't because I'm too impatient. Righto, now it's time to check the nets. Can you believe it's already been half an hour? It is 2:50 and it was 2:20 when I put them in. That is the impatient check collapsible bait trap style. One of the good things about using collapsible bait traps is you're only allowed to use 2. So the video shouldn't be too long, because each time I check the nets, I'm only checking 2 instead of 5. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Ain't no thing. No beetles, no bugs, no minnows, no nothing. That ain't a good sign at all. There might not be any yabbies in this dam. This dam might dry up. Never used to, I don't think. But like I said, I haven't been here for 20 years. It might have been bone dry last summer. Who knows? Righto, net number 2. This seemed a little bit deeper down this end. Thank you, boy. Yes, there's yabbies here. They're too big. They're medium-sized yabbies, so they're too big for bait. But anyway, folks, there's yabbies here in the dam. That is just what I needed to see. 2 yabbies. Too big for bait. Yeah, I'd eat this one if I wanted to keep a feed, but it's way too big for bait. But that is just what I needed to see. Make sure there's no other little ones hiding in the corners. They're here. The yabbies are here. That's a start. I'm on the board. And now I'm excited. And that was with a half-hour impatient check. I'm going to use every ounce of patience that I've got, whoops, to leave these nets in for an hour now. I know the yabbies are here. Might take me an hour just to get this one in. It's that bloody tangled. Right, after a small tanglement issue, we're back in business. That's better. It's only 2, and they were too big for bait, but there's yabbies here. Even if I don't catch any bait yabbies, I found another dam that I can go yabbying in. You beauty! Right, it's been an hour since I checked these nets. Now I'm hoping to catch bait yabbies. So far I've only caught big yabbies, but at the end of the day, it's going to be night time. And that's the end of every day, not just this day. With the heightened anticipation, it's time to check the nets. Yes, I can hear flicking. Yes, there's some bait ones in there, you'll be able to. Yes! I should get a bit of water in here. Looks like there's 4 or 5 yabbies in the net there. I'll have to get the water up to where the other net is. It's a bit deeper right down there. Oh, what have we got? All right, hang on. 1, too big. See you later, mate. 2, hang on. 2, perfect bait yabby. I'll put him in. 3, it was marginal, that last one. 4, too big. 5, you're going to bite me. 5, they're a little bit too big, but I reckon they'll be okay. Any more? 5 yabbies, 3 of which I've kept for bait, and 2 are too big. Now, those 2 that are marginal, last week when I went yabbying for a feed, I upsized. Towards the end I started throwing the biggest ones back as I replaced them with bigger ones. Well, I'm going to do the same today with small yabbies. If I get a few small yabbies, well then as I catch a few, I'll be able to put the bigger ones back. Let's go check the other net. Look, as much as I want to keep them for bait, I think they're just a little bit, they're too big. See you later, mate. So I'm down to 1. Down to 1 bait yabby. Anyway, hopefully I can build on that tally. Please be some small ones. I'm just so happy that I found another dam with yabbies in it. There's one on top. I wonder if it's the one I just... No, he was bigger than... I wonder if it's the one I just threw in. Maybe it landed on top of the net. But I think he was a bit smaller than that. There's a few... Oh yes, there's some bait ones in here, you beauty. Alright, including the one that's on top of the net, we'll call that 1. He's okay. Little bit big, but he's okay. 2. This one's too big. 3. Ouch, ouch. 4 is a bit big, but not perfect size bait yabbies. 5. There's still a few in here. 6, too big. 7, too big. 8, too big. 9, he's okay. There was 9 yabbies in that net then. Wow, that's super cool. I'll put it back and then we'll have a look. Let's see, sideways, I think it is. So I've got 5 in there. 1's perfect, 1's a little bit big, and the other 3 are a little bit bigger than I'd like, but I think they're going to be okay. That's what I came for, you ripper. Right, now it's time to check the nets again. I just got a message from a friend of mine with a warped sense of humour. It says, what's yellow and can't swim? An excavator. And why can't it swim? Because it's only got 1 arm. Idiot. Oh, there's something here. I can hear a lot of flicking. I think he might be too big for fishing bait. No, that one might be alright, but the others, looks like there's 3, and they're all a bit large. I'm getting plenty of yabbies, which is excellent, but they're the wrong size. He's way too big. They're all going to be too big. He's way too big. And he might be okay. I'll put him in. He's a little bit bariatric, if you know what I mean. Anyway, they're a little bit too big. I just can't quite get the really small ones that I want. I'm catching heaps of yabbies, but they're the wrong size. But they're close. Now this one's certainly been the better of the two nets. If this has outperformed the other net again, well then after the next check I might bring that net down this end of the dam as well. There's certainly lots of flickering going on in there. Oh, there's some smaller ones in there. I think I'm going to get a couple. I put a bit of grass in with them yabbies before, just to help keep them separated. Marginal. Too big. Marginal. Too big. That's 4. Still another. Oh, there's a nice one up there actually. Marginal. Here's a good size one. That's a great sized yellow belly yabby. Good sized bait for yellow belly fishing. Is there anything else in there, is there? No, I've actually lost count now. I've lost count how many I've caught. I think I've kept about a dozen, and of that dozen I think at least 8 or 9 are marginal. There's a couple of good ones in there, but most of them are a bit large. Larginal. Right, next time I check the nets, which will be around 3/4 of an hour, it's currently 5 o'clock. I'll check them around 6 o'clock, and I'll bring that one from up there, and I'll just move it down here a bit closer to this one. This end of the dam seems to be deeper, and it seems to have more yabbies in it. Righto folks, it's time to check them again. Now if this net hasn't got 8 or 9 in it like the other one's been getting every check, I'm going to pull the net out and move it down to the other end of the dam there somewhere. It's definitely deeper down that end. 8 or 9 on it, hasn't got any. Oh, it's got 1. 1 or 2. 1. It's got 1, but at least it's a decent size. It's a good size one. It's a good fishing size yabby. It's not stupid big. Bit of an underachiever this time. He will do. He's a very nice yellow belly bait yabby. But I think it's time to move the net. This time, this is the second last check. I'm going to check them both now, then I'm going to put the net back in, and then I'm going to give them a really long soak, the longest soak they've had all night. I'm going to pull them out for the last time. Now this is the high performance net. This one's been a bit of an overachiever today. It's done really well. There's one on the outside, there's a couple on the outside. Oh my God, no, it's just one, it's just very big. Have a look at that. Well, that one is not a good yellow belly sized yabby. It's on the outside of the net, and it's anything but a good yellow belly size. That's a monster. Right, now I've got a couple of pics of that big monster. I'll put him back. Now, that was a big yabby. Oh, there's another one in here equally as big. Look at this. There's 2 big ones. I've got the daily double of monsters. This one might even be bigger. Look at that. That's a very big yabby. That is a big yabby. Now, I already know that people are going to comment and say, that's not a big yabby. I've caught way bigger. At no point am I saying that it's the biggest yabby. Whenever I say I catch a big yabby, people are always quick to say, I've caught way bigger. My way of thinking is that I am about 140 kilograms. I'm a big man, but I've seen bigger. It doesn't mean I'm not big, I wish it did. Anyway, is there anything else in here, or is there just 2 big ones? That's it. Just 2 big ones, no little ones. Maybe they've gone off the bite. I might move this net just up there a little bit and put the one from up there around over the other side there. Right, that can go there. Right, now I'm directly across the dam from the net that's been delivering the best results, and that's that net over there. And this is going to be the final soak, the last hurrah. Current time is 10 to 6. I'm going to leave them until 7 o'clock. It's 5:45. 5:47. I'm going to leave them until 7 o'clock. That's an hour and 13 minutes. Righto folks, it's getting late in the day, but it's not 7 o'clock, it's 6:45. It's been about an hour. Didn't quite give them to 7 o'clock, and it's not because I'm impatient, that's because I'm getting bloody hungry. Now this is the net that had the two big kahunas in it before, just down there. I've just moved it along a little bit. And it's got one. It's almost like there was a yabby bite window. They were caught heaps earlier, but the last couple of checks of the nets have been quite disappointing. At least the one I've got, it's a little bit large, but it's okay for yellow belly. It's not too bad at all. I'd like them a little bit smaller, but that will certainly do. There's a few in there. I'll just double check that it is the last one. Yep. I'm taking the nets out now, so I'll empty the bait, then go check the other net. Right, last net at the new side of the dam. There's one on top. How often has that happened with this net today, or with these nets? Right, that's obviously way too big. I can see an enormous one in here that's also way too big. Alright. Right, there's three just fell out. That is like epically way too big. Like half a crayfish, that one. This one and this one are, yeah, they're too big. Too big for my liking. See you later, mates. See yous later, mates. And that's it. There was 4, one on top, 3 in the net, one was a monster. No keepers, no bait yabbies. Well folks, I caught heaps of yabbies, but only a dozen or so the right size. The rest were the wrong size, mostly too big. But I've had a blast. I've found another new spot that I can come yabbing, and that's just fantastic. Now on a serious note, Victoria and New South Wales are reopening. Lockdowns are ending, people are mingling. COVID's still in the community, so stay safe. Everybody has a different perception on this horrible virus, but for me personally, as a 35-year veteran of bad asthma, I'm petrified of it. So I'm going to be laying low. Stay safe, take care of yourselves. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, want to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.